Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto trained under Madara in secret? Part 1. If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The night was cold in the hidden leaf, quiet except for the distant whispers of the wind brushing through the Hokage monument. Beneath that peaceful surface, deep under the earth where ancient roots and forgotten stone mingled, something stirred. Naruto Uzumaki, loud, reckless, always smiling, was not supposed to be here. His chakra flickered faintly in the darkness, his eyes glowing a determined blue as he stumbled deeper into the catacombs that few even knew existed. He wasn't following anyone. He wasn't chasing after Sasuke or training with Jiraiya this time. No, this was something else. Something he had felt calling to him in his dreams. A voice, deep, timeless, powerful, greater than, "So, you came, child of the spiral." Naruto froze. His heartbeat quickened. The voice wasn't in his ears, it was in his head. Greater than, who's there? Show yourself. The shadows shifted. From the darkness, a figure began to form, tall, cloaked in black and crimson. Long hair like a waterfall of night. Eyes glowing a deep crimson with rotating tomo, eyes that pierced through Naruto's very soul. Greater than, Uchiha, Madara. Naruto whispered, his throat dry. The man's lips curved into a faint smirk. Greater than, you know my name. Good. Then you know the world fears me. Naruto stumbled back. You're supposed to be dead. Madara chuckled, low, menacing, ancient. Supposed to be. But tell me, boy, what is death to one who transcends even time itself? Quote. Naruto gritted his teeth. What do you want from me? Madara's red eyes flickered, the Sharingan spinning into something darker, the Rinnegan. The air itself seemed to bow beneath its weight. Greater than, I have been watching you, Naruto Uzumaki. The world praises you as the reincarnation of Asura, the fool who sought peace through bonds. But you have potential far beyond what that path offers. You have fire, you have rage, you have loneliness. I can shape that. Naruto clenched his fists. I don't need you to shape me. Madara tilted his head slightly, his smirk fading into something colder. No, then tell me, why is it that even now, your village distrusts you? Why does the gaze still carry fear? You protect them, yet they see a monster. The Kyuubi's child. Do you think they'll ever truly forgive you? Those words hit deeper than any kunai ever could. Naruto's breath faltered. That's not true. I have friends. Greater than, yes, Madara interrupted. Friends who pity you. Teachers who use you. A village that remembers you only when you bleed for them. The silence was suffocating. Greater than, I know that pain, Naruto, Madara said, stepping closer, his eyes dimming with an ancient sorrow. The pain of being cast aside. Betrayed by your own people. But I learned what the world truly respects, power. And I can teach you that power, not the power of love, or friendship, but the power of dominion. Naruto's hands trembled. Why me? Madara's voice deepened. Because you are the only one who can bear it. You carry the blood of the Uzumaki, the descendants of the sage's body, and the soul of Asura himself. If you learn to wield both body and chakra as I did, you could become something greater than Hokage. You could become a god. Naruto wanted to yell, to say no, but somewhere deep inside, something burned. The memory of sneers, the loneliness of empty nights, the whispered fear in the eyes of villagers who still looked at him as the demon fox's vessel. Madara extended his hand. You can continue to chase their approval, or take your destiny into your own hands. Naruto stared at that hand for what felt like forever. Then, slowly, he reached out. And everything changed. The training begins. Time passed differently in that underground world. Madara's domain was a tomb of lost knowledge. Stone walls covered with glowing seals, ancient scrolls written in a language forgotten even by the sages. Naruto's training was brutal. It wasn't about friendship or teamwork. It was about control, precision, and pure dominance. Madara's voice echoed through the chamber. Again, Naruto gasped for breath, his hands trembling as he tried to focus chakra into a seal that distorted space itself. Greater than, your chakra reserves are vast, but undisciplined, Madara said coldly. Do you think raw energy alone will save you? Control it, or it will consume you, as it did your father's enemy. Naruto growled and slammed his palms together. This time, the seal glowed brighter, the floor beneath him humming. A sphere of black-red energy began to form, unstable, but alive. Madara's eyes flickered with interest. Good. You are learning to harness the Kyuubi's rage without losing yourself. Now, refine it. Shape that power into creation. Naruto's sweat poured down his face, veins bulging. The energy solidified, turning into a shadowy version of the Rasengan, dark, pulsing, filled with destructive intent. Greater than, I call this, Rasengan of Shadows, Naruto whispered. Madara's lips curved into a faint smirk. Not bad. You're beginning to understand. True power lies not in light or darkness, but in balance between the two. Quote, Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Under Madara's instruction, Naruto learned not just ninjutsu, but war itself, the strategy of domination, the philosophy of power. He learned to channel chakra silently, to suppress his presence, to manipulate battlefield flow with seals older than any modern shinobi had ever seen. He learned forbidden Uchiha arts, not Sharingan, but techniques based on perception and deception. Madara taught him how to see chakra like color, how to predict movement not by instinct but by intent. When Naruto finally emerged from those caverns after months of training, even the air seemed to shift around him. His chakra was calmer, heavier, darker. He didn't shout anymore. He didn't seek validation. He simply was. Jiraiya noticed the change first. When he returned from a mission, he found Naruto meditating on the edge of a waterfall, eyes closed, kunai floating around him, not by telekinesis, but by controlled chakra pulses that bent gravity itself. Greater than, you've grown, Jiraiya said cautiously. Naruto opened his eyes, calm, unreadable. Yeah, I found a teacher. Greater than, who? Naruto smiled faintly, but there was no warmth in it. Someone who understood what it means to be alone. Quote, That night, as Naruto slept, the voice returned, deeper, colder, proud. Greater than, you've taken your first steps, child. Soon, the world will no longer pity you. It will kneel. Naruto didn't respond, but in his dreams, the Sharingan spun within his blue eyes, red and gold intertwining like fire and dawn. The dawn of a new era. The birth of the Shadow Hokage. The world outside hadn't changed much since Naruto disappeared beneath the roots of Konoha, but Naruto had. His chakra no longer burned with raw, chaotic energy. It was refined now, sharper than the edge of any blade. Every movement, every breath carried intention. The once naive boy who rushed headlong into battle had become something else. Something colder, something disciplined. Madara's voice still echoed within his mind as if it were part of his own consciousness now. Greater than, remember, Naruto, a true shinobi hides not only in the shadows but within the hearts of men. Fear is a weapon sharper than any kunai. Naruto had taken that lesson to heart. He began small, missions through Anbu, stealth work no one knew he'd volunteered for. He never revealed what he'd learned from Madara, disguising his newfound power behind his usual grin. But those who fought beside him noticed. The boy who once shouted before striking now moved without a sound. His enemies never saw him coming. Even Kakashi, sharp as he was, could sense something off. Greater than, Naruto, where did you learn that? He asked one night after watching him slip through a dozen traps in silence. Naruto smiled faintly. Guess I've been training harder than you thought, huh, Kakashi-sensei. Quote, but Kakashi wasn't convinced. There was something in Naruto's eyes, something old, something Uchiha-like, not in color, but in weight. The shadow within the leaf. Weeks later, a mission came that changed everything. Rumors spread through the Anbu network. An underground group, once loyal to Danzo, had resurfaced, led by a rogue operative who claimed Konoha had become weak under peace. The Hokage, Tsunade, sent a small unit to eliminate them. Naruto volunteered immediately. When they reached the hideout, deep in the forests near the border of the Land of Fire, the Anbu found more than they expected, not bandits, but trained killers. Shinobi who knew Konoha's every move, every code. The battle erupted in a flash of steel and blood. Naruto moved like lightning, not the kind that flashed bright and vanished, but silent lightning that struck unseen. His kunai shimmered with red seals, the same ones Madara had taught him, chakra distortion runes that sliced through jutsu like greater than, you've changed, boy, one enemy gasped, staggering back as his ninjutsu crumbled. Naruto's gaze was calm, his voice almost whisper-like. Greater than, you have no idea. He vanished, a whisper of space, a flicker of blue and black, and the man fell before even realizing he'd been struck. When the dust settled, the Anbu stared in silent awe. Dozens of enemies lay unconscious or dead, and Naruto stood at the center, untouched. Greater than, Naruto, Yamato murmured, wide-eyed. That wasn't chakra nature manipulation. What did you? Greater than, a technique I made myself, Naruto interrupted quietly. I call it the void step. He didn't mention Madara. Not once. The hidden chamber. That night, Naruto returned to his underground chamber, the one only he knew existed now, hidden beneath the Hokage monument. He lit a torch and knelt before an obsidian stone tablet covered in strange markings. Madara's chakra flickered faintly from within it. His image appeared, spectral but commanding. Greater than, you've done well, Naruto. Your enemies never saw you. You understand now why subtlety conquers where strength fails. Naruto nodded, though his expression was conflicted. But, I killed them, Madara. People from my own village, even if they betrayed it. Doesn't that make me the same as you? Madara's laughter was cold. Greater than, no. You do what must be done to preserve what others cannot. Do not confuse mercy with weakness. The world was built on sacrifice, you are simply the first to understand its price. Quote, Naruto looked down, shadows crossing his face. Then what happens when the world finally learns the truth? That their hero learned from a ghost who once tried to destroy it. Madara's voice softened, almost proud. Greater than, then they will know that even ghosts can create legends. The rift, but peace could not last. When Jiraiya returned from his travels and saw what Naruto had become, his heart sank. They met one evening near the Hokage monument, the sky painted orange by sunset, like the boy's old dream. Greater than, you've grown strong, kid, Jiraiya said with a half smile. But there's something in your chakra, something cold. Where's that fire I used to see? Naruto looked at him calmly. Maybe I realized that fire can burn just as easily as it warms. Quote, greater than, you sound like someone who's seen too much, Jiraiya murmured. Or someone who's listening to the wrong teacher. Naruto's eyes flickered. What do you mean? Jiraiya crossed his arms. Don't play dumb. You think I can't feel it? That presence around you, it's old, oppressive. You've been touched by something dangerous. Silence fell. Naruto turned away. If you think I'm dangerous, then maybe you've forgotten who I am. Quote, greater than, no, Jiraiya said softly. I think you've forgotten. Those words hit deep, but Naruto didn't respond. He just walked away, disappearing into the night, leaving behind a teacher who now feared what his student was becoming. The eyes of the world. Weeks later, the political tension between the villages began to rise again, small border attacks, rogue missions, and assassinations. But in every whispered rumor, one name kept surfacing. The Shadow Fox, a masked shinobi who struck only at night, eliminating threats before they reached the Land of Fire. Some said he worked for Konoha, others claimed he was its hidden executioner. Only one man knew the truth, Kakashi. One night, after tracing strange chakra trails beyond the northern forest, Kakashi confronted him. Greater than, I had a feeling it was you. Naruto stood in the moonlight, wearing a black mask marked with faint crimson lines, the symbol of Madara's ancient clan stylized into a fox's grin. Greater than, you shouldn't have followed me, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi sighed. You're working with someone dangerous. Tell me who it is. Naruto didn't move. I'm working for peace. Isn't that what we all want? Quote, greater than, at what cost? Greater than, at any cost. Their eyes locked, the teacher's weary wisdom against the student's cold determination. Then, in an instant, Naruto vanished. The air rippled with space-time distortion. Kakashi's Sharingan barely tracked the movement, flying Raijin. No, something else. When Naruto reappeared behind him, Kakashi felt a kunai press against his throat. But it didn't cut. Naruto stepped back, his voice calm but filled with sorrow. Greater than, I'm not your enemy, Kakashi. But if you keep digging, you'll make me one. And just like that, he disappeared again, into the night, leaving only whispers of chakra behind. Madara's smile. Deep beneath the surface, Madara's image watched from within the stone tablet, a smirk curving his lips. Greater than, good, very good. You've begun to surpass even my expectations. Soon, Naruto Uzumaki, the world will know what true evolution looks like. Quote, Naruto stood before him, silent, his cloak fluttering in the underground wind. Greater than, you wanted me to be your successor, he said quietly. But I'm not you. Madara chuckled darkly. You will be. The world forces the same curse on every idealist. Quote, Naruto's hand tightened. His blue eyes flickered, red tomo swirling within him for a brief, terrifying instant before fading. Greater than, no, he said. I'll break the curse. Madara's laughter echoed through the chamber. Greater than, then prove it, my heir of chaos. The moon hung over the hidden leaf like an unblinking eye that night, pale, watchful, and cold. Beneath that silver light, Naruto Uzumaki stood at the edge of the Hokage monument, staring down at the sleeping village. His cloak fluttered quietly in the wind, the black fabric embroidered with crimson waves that glowed faintly in the dark. Below him, the village lights flickered like stars fallen to earth, peaceful, warm, unknowing. Greater than all of this, Naruto murmured, voice low. It looks so fragile now. From behind him, the air shimmered, and Madara's chakra form materialized. A ghost of power, his eyes gleaming with ancient pride and cunning. Greater than, because it is. Peace is an illusion built upon fear and compromise. You, Naruto, must be ready for the day when that illusion breaks. Naruto didn't look back. His expression was distant, thoughtful, and yet somewhere deep within, that fire still burned, the fire of the boy who once shouted about becoming Hokage. But now, it was buried beneath layers of calm darkness. Greater than, you taught me to be strong in silence, Naruto said. But strength means nothing if it's used to destroy what I wanted to protect. Quote, Madara smiled faintly, the kind of smile that didn't reach the eyes. Greater than, then learn to rule it, not destroy it. To change the system, you must first control it. The wall of fire burns too brightly, it blinds them. You must teach them to see the truth, through shadow. Naruto's eyes narrowed. And what if I lose myself in the dark before that happens? Madara chuckled, fading slightly. Greater than, then you will finally understand what it means to be a god. Quote, and with that, the specter vanished, leaving Naruto alone, a silhouette caught between two worlds, light and darkness dancing within his soul. The experiment. Weeks passed. Naruto's new abilities deepened beyond the realm of ordinary ninjutsu. What he practiced now wasn't jutsu in the normal sense, it was manipulation of space and will. Madara's training had unlocked the dormant potential in his chakra, not through brute strength, but through focus. Naruto learned to bend chakra flow mid-motion, to compress jutsu into single, precise strikes that shattered barriers and silenced explosions. He could vanish through shadows without the flying Raijin seal, using pure chakra displacement. A shadow warp. Even Madara had praised it. But with each success, something else stirred within Naruto, whispers in the back of his mind, faint but insistent. Greater than, you can't trust them. They'll never understand you. Quote, you're different now. Sometimes he wondered if it was Madara's lingering chakra influence, or if these thoughts were truly his own. The hidden training grounds. Naruto began creating clones not for battle, but for secrecy. Each clone traveled across the borders of the elemental nations, infiltrating forbidden grounds, ruins of the Uchiha clan, abandoned laboratories of Orochimaru, lost temples of the sage's disciples. He absorbed knowledge, scrolls, fragments of forgotten power. Each clone that dispelled sent him memories that burned through his mind like lightning. With every new discovery, he built something dangerous, something new. He was combining Uzumaki's sealing, Uchiha Genjutsu theory, and Madara's space manipulation. A technique meant to suppress gods themselves. He called it Eclipse Seal. A chakra mark that could erase a person's link to the world's energy network for a brief moment, a total isolation. No chakra, no presence, no escape. Madara called it, a weapon of balance. Naruto called it, insurance. Encounter at the ruins. One night, while scouting ruins near the border of the Land of Earth, Naruto felt another chakra presence closing in, faint, yet familiar. He turned, and from the mist emerged a figure wrapped in a tattered cloak. Silver hair, a headband tilted over one eye. Kakashi Hatake. Greater than, you move like someone who doesn't want to be seen, Kakashi said softly. Almost too well for a hero. Naruto gave a thin smile. You're still watching over me, huh? Greater than, it's hard not to, when you disappear for weeks at a time. Even Tsunade starting to ask questions. Naruto looked away, voice low. Tell her I'm training. Greater than, training with who? Silence. Kakashi's visible eye sharpened. I've seen your chakra signatures, Naruto. They're twisted, controlled. You're using something that feels ancient, like Uchiha energy. What are you doing? Naruto clenched his fist. Something necessary. Greater than, Madara. The word hit like a blade. Naruto didn't respond, but his silence said enough. Kakashi stepped forward. Naruto, listen to me. That man nearly destroyed the world. Whatever you think you're learning from him. Naruto's chakra flared. The air trembled. His voice cut through like thunder. Greater than, you think I don't know who he was. You think I'm doing this because I agree with him. Quote. The raw pain in his voice made Kakashi pause. Greater than, then why? Naruto turned, eyes burning with a storm of emotion. Greater than, because the world hasn't changed. The hatred, the wars, it's all the same. If I can understand Madara, if I can learn from him, maybe I can stop it before it happens again. Quote. Kakashi's gaze softened. You sound just like him. That froze Naruto. The air grew heavy, 2 generations of broken ideals staring each other down. Then, without warning, Naruto disappeared. No chakra burst, no sound, just gone. Kakashi stood alone in the mist, realizing with a chill that Naruto's teleportation had evolved beyond even the flying Raijin. Greater than, he's already crossed the line, Kakashi whispered. And he might not come back. Quote. The Hidden War. In the months that followed, Naruto became something of a myth across the shinobi world. Whispers of a masked figure who stopped assassinations, halted wars before they began, and left no trace. The Shadow Fox. Some said he worked for Konoha. Others thought he was an agent of the Akatsuki. But only Naruto knew the truth, he was working for no one. He was watching everyone. From the sand to the mist, he eliminated rogue cells, intercepted weapons, dismantled small armies before they could spark another great war. Each time he fought, he grew colder, his heart harder to reach. And deep within his soul, Madara's ghost watched, silent but satisfied. Greater than, you see now, the voice whispered. The world only obeys power. Naruto's hand trembled, but he didn't argue. Because, in a way, it was working. The nations were quiet. The shadows were afraid. Peace, bought through fear. The return to Konoha. Months later, Tsunade summoned Naruto back to the village. When he walked into the Hokage's office, the silence was heavy. Kakashi stood there. Jiraiya too. Even Shikamaru had been called as an observer. Tsunade leaned forward. Naruto, reports say you've been operating outside orders. Rogue missions, assassinations, foreign infiltration. Do you deny it? Naruto's cloak fluttered slightly as he met her gaze. Greater than, no. Kakashi tensed. Jiraiya's expression hardened. Do you have any idea what you've done? You've killed Leaf operatives, Naruto. People who were part of the system you swore to protect. Greater than, they weren't protecting anyone, Naruto said calmly. They were selling intel, planning wars, spreading chaos. I ended it before it spread. Tsunade slammed her hand on the desk. That's not your decision to make. Naruto's voice dropped. Then whose is it? The council's. The same one that covered up Danzo's crimes. The same system that let my father die. The room went still. For a moment, no one dared to speak. The anger, the pain in Naruto's words weren't from arrogance, they were from betrayal. Kakashi finally broke the silence. Greater than, Naruto, you've lost your way. Naruto's eyes softened. No, sensei, I've just stopped pretending the old one works. And before anyone could move, he vanished, a pulse of silent chakra rippling through the air. Beneath the roots, Naruto returned to the underground chamber, his sanctuary of stone and darkness. Madara's presence lingered in the shadows like a proud teacher watching his masterpiece. Greater than, you faced them, Madara said, amused. And still, you hesitate to embrace what you are. Naruto's fists clenched. I'm not your weapon. Greater than, no, Madara whispered. You are my successor. The words struck deep, deeper than Naruto wanted to admit. He turned away, shadows crawling along the walls. If I'm your successor, then I'll do what you couldn't, save this world without drowning it in blood. Madara chuckled, fading into the darkness. Greater than, then you'll learn soon, boy, that saving and destroying are often the same thing. Quote, End of Part 1, Extended. Naruto stood alone in the underground hall, the air around him rippling with dark and golden light, two forces fighting for dominance. His blue eyes flickered with a faint red glow as he whispered to himself. Greater than, if I have to walk this path alone to protect them, then I will. Above him, the village slept peacefully, unaware that its greatest hero had become its most dangerous secret. The rain over Konoha had turned relentless. Thick, cold drops pelted the rooftops, soaking through the red and gold leaves of the forest that surrounded the hidden leaf. The thunder rolled like the growl of something ancient, something that felt alive. Far beneath that storm, in a hollowed-out cavern once used by the Uchiha clan, Naruto sat cross-legged in complete stillness. His orange outfit had long been replaced by a darker, muted garb, black armor reinforced with ceiling tags etched into the plates, designed by his own hand. His eyes were closed, his breathing steady, but the energy swirling around him was anything but peaceful. A faint purple hue laced his usual golden chakra. It crackled with intensity, bending the air, as if even nature hesitated to come too close. And then, greater than, enough meditating. Madara's voice echoed through the chamber, neither fully physical nor spiritual. His image shimmered into existence, red eyes glowing through the darkness. Naruto opened his eyes slowly, revealing irises that flickered between blue and crimson. You said I needed balance. Greater than, balance, yes. But balance is not peace. Balance is the moment before power breaks its limits. Madara stepped closer, his form flickering like a dying flame. Your chakra now rivals the Jinchuriki of the old wars. But your control, he reached out, tapping Naruto's forehead with ghostly precision, remains clouded by emotion. Compassion is a weakness. Naruto didn't flinch. No, compassion is what separates us from monsters. Quote, Madara smirked. And yet monsters are the ones who shape the world. A pulse of chakra rippled through the chamber, like thunder echoing in stone. Naruto stood, fists tightening. Then maybe it's time the world learned that compassion can be stronger than cruelty. Quote, The battle within. Every night since that argument, Naruto felt the war inside him intensify. Madara's lessons had given him unimaginable abilities, instant chakra conversion, perfect body control, and mastery over the subtle folds of space. But with that power came whispers, voices of doubt, fear, and ambition. He often trained near a waterfall deep within the forest, a place he'd once visited with Jiraiya. The sound of rushing water helped drown out those whispers. He'd stare into the reflection, half of his face glowing with blue chakra, the other half stained with red. Greater than, you're changing, he'd whisper to his reflection. You're becoming him. And yet, part of him felt unstoppable. For the first time, Naruto could see the world's hypocrisy clearly. Villagers calling themselves hidden, yet sending children to die in war. Hokage who preached peace yet ordered assassinations. Madara hadn't created the darkness, he had simply seen it. And now Naruto did too. The mission in the rain. 1 month later, Tsunade summoned Team 7 for a high-priority mission, escorting a peace envoy through the land of rain. Naruto went without hesitation. He missed Sakura and Kakashi, though something about him unsettled them. His movements were quieter, sharper, his gaze colder. Even Sakura noticed it. Greater than, Naruto, you've changed. You feel different. Just trying to get stronger, he said simply, forcing a smile. Isn't that what we all want? But the mission turned dark fast. Halfway through their journey, they were ambushed by rogue rain nin, remnants of Hanzo's old forces. Explosives rained from above, detonating the trees and splitting the convoy in two. Naruto reacted instantly, faster than anyone could see. With a single motion, he vanished, reappearing behind the enemy squad. His chakra burst with terrifying precision, not wild like before, but refined, efficient. He raised his hand, sealing symbols flaring across his palm. Greater than, eclipse seal. The rogue shinobi froze, their chakra pathways flickering out as if snuffed like candles. They collapsed, unconscious but alive. When the smoke cleared, Sakura and Kakashi were staring at him. Greater than, what was that? Sakura whispered. That wasn't a Rasengan, it was something else. Naruto looked down at his hand, then back at them. Just something new I've been working on. Kakashi's eye narrowed. Where did you learn it? Naruto didn't answer. That silence told him everything. The return to the cavern. When the mission ended, Naruto didn't go home. He returned to the cavern, where Madara awaited. Greater than, you used the seal, Madara said, smiling. You've accepted your path. Naruto glared. Don't twist it. I used it to protect them, not destroy. Madara's laughter echoed through the dark. Protect. You silenced 5 shinobi in less than a second. You controlled their chakra entirely. That isn't protection, that's domination. Naruto clenched his jaw, his breath heavy. If control is what it takes to end this endless killing, then I'll do it. Quote. Madara nodded approvingly. Good. You begin to understand. The world needs not another Hokage, it needs a ruler strong enough to reshape it. Naruto's chakra flared in defiance. No, it needs someone strong enough to protect it, even from people like you. Quote. Madara's form flickered, fading back into shadow. Greater than, we'll see, whether you're protector or tyrant. A fateful night. Konoha didn't know the truth yet, but the elders were growing suspicious. Kakashi had submitted a private report to Tsunade. Greater than, Naruto's chakra signature has changed drastically. It's almost identical to Uchiha Madara's energy pattern. We must act carefully. That night, as Naruto stood atop the Hokage monument, he felt the ANBU's eyes on him, watching from the trail. He smiled faintly. Greater than, guess they finally noticed. He turned, vanishing from sight before the ANBU could react. Moments later, he stood deep in the old Uchiha district, abandoned and silent. In front of him lay the stone tablet, the same one Madara once used to twist generations. Naruto reached out, pressing his hand against it. The markings shifted, glowing faintly. He could now read them all. The world shall know true balance when love and hatred become one. Naruto closed his eyes. Greater than, maybe that's what I am now, both. The Shadow's warning. Days later, an explosion rocked the outskirts of Konoha, rogue shinobi attempting to infiltrate the village's borders. Naruto responded instantly, arriving before the ANBU could mobilize. His aura darkened the air as he stood before the enemy leader. Greater than, you picked the wrong village. The rogue sneered. And who are you supposed to be? The Hokage's pet. Naruto's expression turned deadly calm. Greater than, no. I'm the reason she still has a village to protect. In an instant, the man's movements froze. His chakra twisted, bound by invisible seals. Naruto's palm pressed against his chest, a pulse of red and blue energy detonated silently, erasing the man's presence completely. The rest of the attackers fell to their knees, terrified. Naruto turned to them. Greater than, leave. If you ever step near Konoha again, there won't be a second warning. They ran. From the shadows, Kakashi appeared, having seen everything. Greater than, you didn't kill him, but you didn't spare him either. Naruto turned, his expression unreadable. Sometimes mercy is the cruelest weapon, sensei. Kakashi sighed. You sound more like Madara every day. Quote. Naruto's eyes softened. Then maybe you should ask yourself why his words make so much sense now. The breaking point. That night, Naruto sat on his bed, the moonlight spilling through the window. In his hand was a scroll, Minato's last teachings. Notes about the flying Raijin, the Rasengan, and something else, an unfinished entry. Greater than, power is not evil. But the moment you use it to control others, it controls you. Quote, Naruto stared at those words for a long time. His heart ached. For his father, for Jiraiya, for everyone who had believed in him. He could feel Madara's presence again, whispering. Greater than, you've already gone too far to turn back. Quote, Naruto stood, eyes glowing faintly. Maybe, but I'll decide where this ends, not you. End of Part 1, The Shadow That Loved the Light. Naruto stepped out of his apartment and gazed up at the Hokage monument. He placed his hand over his heart, feeling the storm of two powers clashing inside him. Greater than, I'll protect this world, no matter how dark I have to become to do it. Far away, in the unseen plane between worlds, Madara smiled faintly. Greater than, then perhaps, you truly are my greatest creation. And the night wind howled, carrying the sound of something far greater than destiny. Something about to change the shinobi world forever. The moon hung over the hidden leaf like a silent witness, pale, unblinking, and cold. Naruto stood on the Hokage monument, wind pulling at his cloak, eyes glowing faintly crimson beneath the night sky. Every beat of his heart pulsed with immense power, a fusion of Uzumaki vitality and Uchiha fury. Inside his mind, the lingering presence of Madara whispered like smoke. Greater than, you've gone beyond Jiraiya. Beyond Minato. Even beyond me, perhaps. Naruto's jaw tightened. If surpassing you means protecting them, then I'll keep going. Quote, greater than, protecting them. Madara's voice was almost amused. Or protecting your guilt. You can't save everyone, boy. You can only choose who lives by whose hands. Naruto's hands clenched. Then I'll carry that burden alone. Quote, and with that, he vanished in a flash of violet light. The experiment, the edge of power. Deep underground, beneath Konoha's old training fields, Naruto had built something that no one knew existed. A hidden training chamber carved from reinforced stone and sealed with space-time barrier. It was a mix of sealing arts, Uchiha technology, and ancient Uzumaki runes, a laboratory of chakra itself. Floating above the central altar were countless glowing spheres, fragments of chakra he had split from himself, each tuned to a different nature transformation. Fire burned quietly beside the gentle hum of wind, lightning arcs danced around globes of solidified earth. He was perfecting something even Madara hadn't dared, the fusion of all chakra natures through stabilized dimensional resonance. He breathed deeply, focusing. Greater than, fire and wind, unstable, but if I align the spatial frequencies just a bit more. The energies flared violently. A shockwave blasted outward, burning through half the chamber. Naruto was thrown back, coughing blood. Greater than, damn, too much output. He looked down at his hands, burned, trembling, and slowly healing with the regenerative power of the nine tails. But his reflection in the chakra pool caught his attention. The eyes staring back were no longer just blue. They were a deep amethyst, swirling faintly with tomo. Greater than, Madara, what are you doing to me? Greater than, what you're doing to yourself, the old voice chuckled from the shadows of his mind. You've merged my chakra signature with your own. Every step closer to power binds us deeper. Do you think you can use darkness without being used by it? Naruto stood, breathing hard. I'm not your puppet. I'll use this power to protect, not destroy. Quote, greater than, all who say that, eventually fail. Madara's laughter faded into silence. A silent observation. Meanwhile, above ground, Kakashi and Tsunade discussed the latest mission reports. Greater than, he's too powerful, Tsunade said bluntly, pouring herself sake. Naruto's chakra readings have doubled in a month. Even Kurama's energy can't explain it. Kakashi leaned back, I shadowed beneath his forehead protector. He's hiding something. But, part of me doesn't think it's malicious. Quote, greater than, that's what worries me, she replied. If it's not malicious, it's personal. Kakashi's mind flashed back to the last time he saw Naruto fight, the speed, the precision, the power that made the fourth Hokage look slow. It wasn't just improvement. It was evolution. Greater than, if this continues, Tsunade said quietly, he could surpass the village itself. Kakashi nodded. Or outgrow it. The night of the rift. Weeks passed. Naruto kept training in secret, mastering new levels of chakra manipulation that even the sages of old would envy. But the strain was immense. Each night, his dreams grew darker. He'd see Madara standing before him on the battlefield, the world burning behind. But this time, it wasn't Madara holding the blade, it was himself. He'd wake drenched in sweat, the room vibrating faintly with residual chakra. Kurama stirred inside him. Greater than, you're playing with things even I don't understand, brat. Quote, Naruto sighed. You don't need to understand. Just trust me. Greater than, trust isn't the issue. Survival is. Kurama's deep growl echoed in his chest. Greater than, Madara's essence is still inside that energy you're using. You're not just training under him, you're absorbing him. Naruto froze. Quote. What did you say? Greater than, his chakra isn't gone. You fused with a fragment of it the day you started using his dimensional space. His will is inside your own. Naruto's eyes widened. For the first time, real fear flickered in his chest. Greater than, then I have to finish this, before he finishes me. The secret duel. A week later, Kakashi approached Naruto on a quiet evening. The sun was dipping low over the Hokage monument, painting the village in gold. Greater than, you've been distant, Kakashi said softly. Greater than, just training, Naruto replied, without turning. Greater than, you're not lying well these days. Quote, Naruto smiled faintly. Guess I learned that from you. Kakashi stepped closer. Tsunade's worried. The Anbu are reporting strange chakra signatures coming from the forest. I followed one last night. It was yours. Naruto finally looked at him. His eyes were calm, but his chakra flickered faintly with that purple hue again. Greater than, if I told you I was training to prevent another war, to stop something bigger than pain or Obito, would you believe me? Quote, greater than, I'd believe you, Kakashi said. But not the power you're using. Naruto's jaw clenched. I don't have time to make you understand. Greater than, then make me, Kakashi said, raising his headband to reveal his Sharingan. Show me what you've become. Naruto's expression darkened. You don't want this fight, sensei. Greater than, maybe not. But I need to know what's left of you. Lightning flickered in Kakashi's palm. Chidori. Naruto sighed, spreading his arms. Then come. The clash was instant, a flash of light and thunder that split the sky. Kakashi's Chidori met Naruto's Rasengan, but instead of the familiar swirling blue, Naruto's sphere glowed violet, crackling with dimensional energy. When the impact came, the forest exploded outward. Trees disintegrated. The air itself trembled. Kakashi landed hard, panting, his arm numb from the backlash. Naruto stood unscathed, but guilt flickered across his face. Greater than, this is why I can't stay, Naruto whispered. If the village sees me as a threat, I'll have no choice but to become one. Kakashi tried to speak, but Naruto vanished, not in a normal body flicker. It was instant, silent, like space itself folded around him. Greater than, flying Raijin, Kakashi murmured. No, something more. The return of the shadow. That night, Naruto reappeared deep within the dimensional space Madara once used. The spectral figure was waiting. Greater than, you fought him, Madara said. Naruto nodded. He's worried. They all are. Greater than, good. Fear makes people predictable. Use it. Naruto's eyes hardened. No, I won't rule by fear. Quote, greater than, then you'll die by it, Madara countered. The world does not trust power it doesn't control. They'll come for you soon. When they do, remember, I offered you the truth. Naruto's hands glowed, forming seals faster than lightning. Then here's mine. A seal erupted beneath his feet, chains of golden chakra lashing outward, binding the spectral form of Madara. Greater than, what is this? Madara growled. Greater than, a seal that divides chakra signatures, Naruto said coldly. I'm ending this connection, forever. The cavern shook. The energy split violently, red against gold, hatred against hope. Naruto screamed as the two forces tore through him, burning everything around in a brilliant storm of power. And then, silence. When the light faded, Naruto lay on the ground, eyes dim but still alive. Madara's presence was gone, but something else had taken its place. A new chakra, neither red nor blue, neither Uchiha nor Uzumaki. Something born purely of balance. Naruto stood, breathing hard. The world around him felt still. Greater than, you were right, Madara, he whispered. Love and hatred can become one. But I'll be the one who decides how. Quote, he turned toward the exit. Greater than, Konoha doesn't need to fear me. It needs to remember me. The cold wind of dawn swept through the empty forests near the hidden leaf. Birds had just begun their first cries of morning, but there was no peace in the air. The sky itself seemed heavier, as though something enormous was shifting in the unseen layers of the world. Naruto stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the village he once called home. His cloak fluttered in the wind, black with crimson lining, a mark of balance between Uchiha and Uzumaki blow. Odd. His chakra was calm yet infinite, like a quiet ocean that hid storms beneath. The sun rose slowly, glinting off the carved faces of past Hokage. Minato's face caught his eyes, his father's stone smile illuminated by morning light. Greater than, Dad, Naruto murmured. Would you still be proud of me, if you saw what I've become? The wind answered him in silence. A world on edge. Word of strange chakra surges around the Fire Country had begun to spread among the major nations. Reports spoke of forests leveling in seconds, rivers parting as if by unseen force, and flashes of violet light that broke the night sky. The Raikage thought it was some new Konoha experiment. The Mizukage believed it to be remnants of the Otsutsuki. The Tsuchikage dismissed it as nonsense. But Gaara, he knew better. Inside the Kazekage's office, Gaara stared at the mission scrolls scattered across his desk. Each one mentioned a single phrase, unknown chakra, identical to the 9 tails. Quote, he clenched his fist. Naruto, what are you doing? Temari entered the room quietly. You think it's him? Gaara nodded slowly. No one else has that kind of chakra signature. But, this isn't the same energy as before. It feels older, darker. Temari hesitated. Should I inform the other cage? Gaara looked toward the horizon. Not yet. Not until I'm sure. In the hidden shadows, far below the surface of Konoha, deep beneath the ancient roots of the village, Naruto's secret base pulsed with raw energy. Runes and ceiling circles covered every wall. Crystal conduits channeled chakra into floating rings that spun in endless motion. He stood at the center, eyes closed, hands weaving seals faster than lightning. Greater than, focus the flow, neutralize the distortion. Each word was calm, but the air around him screamed with energy. A storm of pure chakra whirled around his body, lifting stones and metal fragments off the ground. Kurama's voice rumbled inside him, deep and cautious. Greater than, you're pushing beyond even my limits, brat. Naruto smiled faintly. Guess that makes me a good student, huh? Greater than, or a dead one. The 9 tails snorted. Madara tried this kind of fusion once. The world wasn't ready. You think you can finish what he couldn't? Naruto's hands froze mid-seal. I'm not trying to finish what he started. I'm trying to correct it. Quote, Kurama growled. You can't correct darkness by living in it. Naruto's eyes opened. For a brief second, they glowed with 6 tomo, 3 in each eye, a hybrid of Sage and Sharingan energy. Maybe not, he said softly. But I can use it to make sure no one else ever has to. The seals on the ground flared, and suddenly the room cracked with light. Naruto screamed as his chakra was ripped and reforged, golden and crimson threads weaving through his body. When the brightness faded, his cloak was gone. His body glowed faintly with runes etched into his skin, and his eyes, they were something entirely new. A perfect balance of creation and destruction. The ghost returns. That night, the Anbu reported a strange sighting, a figure walking through the ruins of the old Uchiha district. Kakashi was the first to arrive. Masked, silent, watching from the shadows. He could feel it, the air trembled around that figure. Naruto, he whispered. The young man turned slowly, his expression calm but unreadable. His new eyes glowed faintly in the dark, violet and gold swirling together. Greater than, you shouldn't have come, Kakashi-sensei. Greater than, you're making it hard not to, Kakashi said, stepping forward. Every time you move, half the senses in the village go crazy. Tsunade's worried. Gaara's worried. Hell, even the Raikage sent a message asking what you've become. Naruto looked away. I'm doing what needs to be done. Greater than, and what's that? Destroying yourself. Greater than, no. Preventing another war. Kakashi's single visible eye narrowed. You sound just like him. Naruto's voice sharpened. I'm nothing like Madara. The silence that followed was heavy. The wind carried the faint rustle of burned leaves through the broken street. Greater than, then prove it, Kakashi said finally. Naruto turned, and the two clashed in an instant. Lightning and wind exploded across the ruins. Kakashi's Raikiri sliced through the air, meeting Naruto's energy like thunder. The collision was deafening, a burst of force that shattered the ground beneath them. Naruto didn't strike to kill. Every move was precise, a master holding back enough to protect what he loved, even as he fought it. Finally, Kakashi stumbled back, panting, his mask torn, his arms shaking from the backlash. Greater than, you've surpassed me, Kakashi said quietly. Naruto helped him up. I didn't want to fight you, sensei. But you had to see that I'm not your enemy. Quote, greater than, then what are you? Naruto's eyes glowed again. Something the world isn't ready to understand. And then he vanished, faster than light, faster than any jutsu Kakashi had ever seen. The 5-Cage Summit. Weeks later, in a fortified hall high in the Iron Country, the 5-Cage gathered. At the center of the table lay mission reports, chakra readings, and photographs, all showing the same figure cloaked in shadow, with golden eyes piercing through the dark. Raikage slammed his fist against the table. You're telling me this thing has the same chakra as the Nine Tails, the Rinnegan, and the Sage of Six Paths? Tsunade's tone was calm but firm. Yes, and he's one of ours. Quote, yours. The Tsuchikage barked. That's not a shinobi, that's a walking disaster. Mizukage frowned. If this is true, and Naruto Uzumaki has attained something beyond the Rinnegan, then he's not just a threat to Konoha. He's a threat to the balance of the world. Gaara rose slowly. He's not a threat. Raikage glared. You speak as if you know him. I do, Gaara replied. He's the reason I'm alive. The reason any of us are sitting here instead of buried under the Akatsuki's ashes. Quote, Tsunade nodded. He's training in secret. Whatever he's doing, it's for a reason. We can't act until we know what that reason is. Raikage growled. And if his reason ends with another Madara Uchiha? Quote, the room fell silent. Gaara closed his eyes. Then we'll remind him of who he truly is, before the world forces him to forget. Inside the dimensional rift, far from the summit, Naruto was already moving. He stood inside a void of swirling energy, a pocket dimension created from fragments of Madara's old jutsu. Floating in the air were thousands of chakra signatures, memories, attacks, and life energies of fallen shinobi that had once shaped history. He walked through them, touching fragments of old power, the will of the Senju, the rage of the Uchiha, the serenity of the Uzumaki. Each memory whispered to him. Each spirit tested him. Greater than, you seek balance, said one voice, Hashirama Senju's deep and kind tone. But the world is not ready for balance. Greater than, then I'll make it ready, Naruto replied. From another echo came Madara's voice, cold and proud. So you finally understand. Peace through dominance. Naruto's eyes flashed. Peace through strength, but not through control. He raised his hands, and the entire void shook. Streams of light and shadow spiraled together, forming a single sphere that pulsed with the rhythm of life itself. This was his creation, the Genesis Seal. A jutsu designed to absorb all hatred in the world and neutralize it within a dimensional core. A jutsu that could end war forever. But to use it, he would need to risk his soul. Kurama's voice thundered in his chest. Greater than, you're insane. That jutsu will tear you apart. Greater than, if it keeps them safe, then so be it. Greater than, you think dying will save the world. You think erasing hatred means peace. That's not what being Hokage means. Naruto paused, eyes softening. Maybe not. But if being Hokage means carrying the pain of everyone else, then this is the path I choose. He placed his hand on the glowing sphere. The entire dimension trembled. Konoha's awakening. Back in the village, alarms blared. The sky split open as a surge of chakra tore through the heavens. Golden light cascaded over the mountains, illuminating the night as if a second sun had risen. Tsunade and Kakashi raced to the top of the Hokage monument, staring in awe. Greater than, what in the world? Tsunade whispered. Kakashi's Sharingan widened. That's not an attack, it's a seal. He's rewriting reality. Quote, greater than, can we stop it? He shook his head slowly. No, but maybe, we can reach him. The final confrontation. Inside the rift, Naruto's body was breaking apart. His chakra streamed out in radiant waves, merging with the Genesis seal. Every memory, every smile, every pain, played before his eyes. Iruka's kindness, Jiraiya's wisdom, Sasuke's rivalry, Hinata's unwavering belief. Each memory burned through him like fire, reminding him why he fought, why he endured. Greater than, Naruto. A voice cut through the light. It was Gaara, and behind him, Kakashi, Tsunade, and even Sasuke. They had entered the dimension through a temporary link opened by Sasuke's Rinnegan. Sasuke's eyes locked onto Naruto. You idiot, you were planning to die alone, weren't you? Naruto smiled faintly. Someone has to end the cycle. Sasuke stepped forward, fury and pain mixed in his expression. You don't get to decide that. Not again. Their chakras flared, colliding in a storm of blue and purple light. Greater than, if you want peace, Sasuke shouted, then live for it, don't die for it. Naruto's breath caught. For a moment, the energy around him flickered. Kakashi and Tsunade raised barriers, shielding the others as the dimension trembled violently. Greater than, Naruto, Gaara said quietly, your strength doesn't come from ending pain. It comes from enduring it. The words hit him harder than any jutsu. Slowly, Naruto lowered his hands. The Genesis seal dimmed. Greater than, maybe, you're right. The light around him shifted from gold to pure white. The dimension calmed, like the eye of a storm. Naruto looked at his friends, his family. Greater than, then I'll live. But not as your hero. Greater than, then what? Sasuke asked. Naruto smiled faintly. As your shadow. The energy vanished. The rift closed. Epilogue, the Shadow Hokage. Months later, the world was calm again. Naruto was gone, officially listed as missing. But rumors spread among villages. Bandits claimed to see a cloaked figure appearing at night, saving travelers from ambushes. Rogue shinobi spoke of being defeated by a blur of golden light and purple flame. And every full moon, Konoha's senses detected faint chakra pulses beyond the borders, familiar, powerful, and peaceful. In the Hokage's office, Kakashi looked out at the horizon. Greater than, you'll always protect them, won't you, Naruto? Tsunade smiled softly. Even from the shadows, far beyond the forests, atop a high ridge, Naruto stood under the stars, cloak fluttering in the wind. His new eyes reflected both the moon and the village below. Madara's voice echoed faintly within him, not of control, but of remembrance. Greater than, you've achieved what I could not, strength without hatred. Quote, Naruto smiled. No, old man, we achieved it together. As dawn broke, the light of the new sun touched Konoha once more. And somewhere, in the silence between shadow and sunrise, the legend of the Shadow Hokage was born, a guardian unseen, yet ever watchful. The night was thick with fog over the land of fire, a silence so complete that even the forest seemed to hold its breath. Hidden deep within the woods, Naruto stood before an ancient stone gate buried under roots and moss. The entrance radiated a pulse of ancient chakra, like a heart still beating after centuries. He had found it, the resting place of Madara Uchiha's legacy. As Naruto touched the gate, a surge of energy shot through his body. Visions flashed in his mind, the Valley of the End, two gods clashing in fury, Hashirama's wood dragons tearing through the earth, Madara's Susanoo towering like a demon. And beneath it all, hatred, loneliness, purpose twisted by despair. Greater than, so you've come, a voice murmured, calm, ancient, powerful. Naruto froze. The air rippled before him, and from the shadows, a figure emerged, cloaked in black, his Sharingan glowing with infinite depth. Madara Uchiha. Even as an echo, his presence made the air feel heavier. The old ghost smirked slightly. Greater than, you carry both the sage's light and my will of fire. Tell me, boy, what is it you seek? Naruto clenched his fists. I want to understand. You tried to bring peace, didn't you? I want to know why you failed, and how I can stop history from repeating. Madara chuckled, low and deep. So, the world's hero comes to learn from the devil. He gestured to the darkness beyond the gate. Enter, then. But understand this, knowledge of darkness comes with a price. Naruto didn't flinch. I'm not afraid. The gates of the Forgotten Shrine groaned open, and Naruto stepped inside, unaware that his life, his destiny, and even his soul were about to be reshaped. The hidden dojo of shadows. The inner chamber of Madara's hideout was vast and circular, lined with stone pillars covered in ancient seals. Floating orbs of chakra hovered in the air, casting a dim red glow. It was neither alive nor dead, more like suspended time itself. Naruto looked around in awe. What is this place? Greater than, a remnant of the old world, Madara said, his voice echoing through the stone. Here, chakra takes its true form. Not as jutsu, not as power, but as will. Naruto's blue eyes met Madara's crimson ones. Teach me. Madara studied him. Why should I? You represent everything I despised, the naive faith that people can change. Quote, Naruto's voice was steady. Then let me prove you wrong. The ghost of Madara laughed, but there was something different in his tone this time. Curiosity. Very well, let us see if the son of the fourth can carry the weight of the Uchiha's curse. Quote, Training begins, the weight of darkness. The days in the shrine blended into nights. Naruto no longer counted time, he measured life in pain, progress, and revelation. Madara's training was brutal, unlike anything Jiraiya or Kakashi had ever taught. No meditation, no gentle correction, only survival. Madara forced Naruto to channel chakra through his nerves until his hands trembled. He had to balance between overflowing light energy from Kurama and the suffocating weight of Madara's shadow chakra. Greater than, you must learn to control both life and death, Madara's voice thundered. Creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. To master one, you must accept the other. Naruto gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his face as his aura flickered violently, one side blazing gold, the other bleeding black. The energies clashed like fire and oil, threatening to tear him apart. Kurama growled from within. You're going to kill yourself, Naruto. Greater than, no, Naruto gasped. I'll master it, he roared, slamming his palms together. The twin energies coiled into a single stream, spiraling around him like a tornado of light and shadow. The air cracked, and the ground split beneath him. For a moment, just one, the balance held. His eyes flashed golden red, the tomo of the Sharingan faintly appearing in his pupils before fading. Madara smirked. Impressive, you survived the first lesson. Naruto collapsed, gasping. That was the first. Quote, Madara's smirk widened. Indeed. The philosophy of power. As the months passed, Madara's ghost revealed more than technique, he revealed ideology. Greater than peace, he said one evening as they stood under the underground shrine's false moonlight, is an illusion born from exhaustion. Humanity seeks it only after bathing in its own blood. Naruto shook his head. That's not true. I've seen people change. I've seen enemies become friends. Madara's gaze was sharp. And how many died before they did? Tell me, boy, would you sacrifice 10,000 to save 10 million? Naruto faltered. That's not the same. Greater than, it is the same. Madara's voice cut through him. Every leader must decide whose lives weigh more. Your father chose to sacrifice himself to save the village. Would you do less? Naruto's hands clenched. I don't know. Madara stepped closer, his spectral form flickering. Then learn. Because one day, the world will force you to choose. Quote, Awakening the shadow within. Weeks turned into seasons. Naruto began to see the world differently. He moved like a phantom, his chakra silent, his movements calculated. The teachings of Madara weren't just combat, they were a philosophy of control, discipline, and deception. Madara taught him how to mask his presence even from sensory ninjas. How to project fear into his opponent's mind without a single move. How to anticipate not the body, but the will of the enemy. And slowly, Naruto realized something terrifying: Madara's methods worked. On one occasion, while meditating, Naruto's subconscious connected to a memory shard, the echo of Madara's own battle at the Valley of the End. For the first time, he saw it not as a hero watching a villain fall, but as a warrior who had lost everything to betrayal and loneliness. When he woke, his cheeks were wet with tears. "Greater than, you're feeling sympathy," Madara's voice whispered. "Good. Understanding is the foundation of true power." Naruto clenched his jaw. "I don't agree with what you did. But, I understand why you did it." Madara's faint smile almost seemed human. "Then perhaps there's hope for you yet." A new technique, the Void Step. Months later, Madara introduced something new. "Greater than, you've mastered the Rasengan, the Sage Arts, and the Nine Tails Chakra mode. But all of that is light. What you lack is absence." Absence. Naruto frowned. Madara raised his hand. The air around him rippled, then he vanished completely. Not a sound, not even a chakra trace. A moment later, Naruto felt a cold whisper behind him. "Greater than, to move faster than light, you must not move at all." Naruto turned, wide-eyed. "That's not possible." Quote. Madara's smirk deepened. "Everything is possible when you control the void itself. This is the technique of gods, the Void Step. Learn it, and even the flying Raijin will look like child's play." The next weeks nearly killed him. The technique required him to erase his own chakra presence, to step into nothingness. But that meant confronting the void within himself, the fear of losing everything, of being forgotten. Night after night, he failed, vanishing for a heartbeat before being violently thrown back by reality. Until one evening, when he finally let go, not of his chakra, but of his doubt. For an instant, the world around him went still. He was nowhere and everywhere at once. When he reappeared, Madara's eyes widened in satisfaction. "Greater than, congratulations," the ghost said softly. "You've just transcended mortality. The day of reckoning." Word of strange phenomena began to reach the surface world: silent lightning, trees bending without wind, shadows moving without sources. Tsunade sent Anbu to investigate, but none returned. Kakashi grew suspicious. Sakura sensed familiar chakra, Naruto's, but it felt wrong. One night, the Anbu reported seeing him in the forests near the old Uchiha compound. Tsunade ordered Kakashi to approach him alone. When Kakashi arrived, Naruto was standing in the moonlight, his hair longer, his cloak darker. The aura around him wasn't malicious, it was powerful. Divine. "Greater than, Naruto," Kakashi said softly. "What have you done?" Naruto turned, his new eyes glowing faintly red and gold. "I've been training, sensei. Learning what it really means to protect this world." "Greater than, under who?" Quote. Naruto hesitated. "Madara." Kakashi's heart sank. Madara Uchiha. Naruto, he was. "Greater than, a man who understood pain," Naruto interrupted. "And control. He didn't want chaos, he wanted peace, the only way he knew how." Quote. Kakashi's tone turned sharp. "And how's that different from the Akatsuki?" From pain. Naruto's expression darkened. "Because I'm not trying to rule anyone. I'm trying to protect everyone, even from themselves." Quote. "Greater than, you sound like him. Greater than, maybe that's what the world needs right now." In a blink, Naruto disappeared. Kakashi couldn't even sense the chakra trail, it was as if he'd stepped out of existence. The ghost of Konoha. Months passed. The village changed quietly. Criminals and rogue shinobi began vanishing overnight. Smuggling routes collapsed. Underground markets stopped functioning. Even spies from other nations went missing, all replaced by the same rumor: a golden-eyed ghost hunter. In the night. No one could confirm if it was Naruto, but every trace led back to him. Meanwhile, far beneath the village, Naruto continued to train under Madara's fading presence. The old specter was weakening, his energy scattering like smoke. Greater than, you're fading, Naruto said one night. Madara nodded. My purpose is complete. You've inherited what I could not, strength without arrogance. Power without hatred. Naruto lowered his head. You really cared, didn't you? Quote, Madara's ghost smiled faintly. Once, I thought only despair could change the world. You've proven me wrong. The future belongs to those who carry both shadow and light. As his form began to dissolve, he whispered his final words. Greater than, remember, Naruto, even the brightest fire casts the darkest shadow. Be both. And then, he was gone. Epilogue, The Shadow Protector. Years later, peace reigned across the nations. Shinobi from every land cooperated under the newly established Shinobi Alliance. But there were still whispers. Whispers of a figure who appeared whenever war threatened to return, a cloaked guardian who ended conflicts before they began. Some said he was a god. Others said he was a myth. But those who had fought alongside him, Kakashi, Gaara, Sasuke, knew the truth. He was Naruto Uzumaki, the child of prophecy, the student of Jiraiya, the heir of Minato, and the final legacy of Madara Uchiha. High above the world, on a cliff overlooking the village, he stood with his cloak fluttering in the wind, golden eyes reflecting both sunrise and shadow. Greater than, peace isn't something you inherit, he whispered. It's something you protect, even from the light itself. And with that, he vanished, his presence fading into the air like a passing wind. A shadow watching over the leaf. A myth guarding the world. A legend that would never die. Naruto Uzumaki, the shadow of legends. The forest outside Konoha was silent that night. The moon hung high above, pale and still, as if holding its breath for what was about to unfold. Naruto stood at the edge of a cliff, his orange jacket now blackened with ash and dust. His eyes, once full of youthful mischief, now carried the heavy calm of someone who had seen too much. A faint crimson glow rippled beneath his skin, the mark of Madara's influence. Behind him, the voice that had haunted his mind for months spoke once more. Madara, you've done well, Naruto. You have surpassed every expectation I had. But tell me, do you still cling to the dream of being Hokage? Quote, Naruto didn't answer immediately. His mind flickered with memories, Iruka's warm smile, Jiraiya's laughter, Sakura's worried eyes, and Sasuke's cold stare. He remembered all the times he promised to protect everyone, to never give up. But reality had torn those promises apart. He finally said quietly, being Hokage doesn't mean anything if the village itself is broken. Madara's ethereal form stepped closer, his crimson Sharingan glowing in the shadows. Precisely. The wall of fire has burned itself out. Only through destruction can a new world rise. You, Naruto, are my successor, not Hashirama's ideal, but mine. Naruto clenched his fists, torn between loyalty and the dark logic of Madara's vision. Months of secret training had awakened in him power beyond imagination. He could bend chakra flow to freeze an enemy's heartbeat, summon illusions that crossed dimensions, and even momentarily control nature itself. Madara had taught him not just ninjutsu, but control, patience, and the terrifying art of manipulation. But deep inside, the words of his old mentor still echoed, a true ninja never abandons his friends. Quote, Madara could sense Naruto's hesitation. You're still chained by sentiment. Then you will never ascend. Naruto's voice grew louder, firmer. No, I've learned from you, but I'm not you. I'll use your power to protect, not to destroy. Quote, for the first time, Madara's expression softened, not in kindness, but in grim amusement. Then prove it. In an instant, the world warped. Madara's spectral form solidified into something far more tangible, his Susanoo blazing in midnight flames. Naruto summoned his chakra cloak, but it was no longer the bright golden hue of the Nine Tails. Instead, it was darker, an eerie mix of crimson and blue, like two opposing forces locked in balance. The ground cracked as they clashed. Rasengan met Susanoo blade, space itself distorting under the pressure. Madara's voice thundered, if you wish to protect the world, then survive my truth. Naruto roared back, his chakra surging like a tidal wave. I'll protect everyone, even from you. Their battle raged in the hidden realm between dimensions where Madara had trained him. Trees splintered, the sky shattered into fragments of light, and for a brief moment, the echoes of two generations, old and new, merged into one terrifying display of power. When the dust settled, Madara stood motionless, his eyes dimming. "You truly are unpredictable," just like Hashirama once said. He looked almost proud. "You've surpassed even me, Naruto Uzumaki." The old ghost faded with the wind, leaving behind nothing but silence. Naruto fell to his knees, exhausted but alive. He looked toward the horizon where Konoha's lights twinkled faintly. His heart was heavy, knowing no one would ever believe what had transpired, that he, Naruto Uzumaki, the vessel of the Nine Tails, had been secretly trained by Madara Uchiha himself. As he stood and began walking home, the air shimmered faintly around him. For a moment, a shadow of Madara appeared beside him, watching with a faint smirk. Madara, whispering, "Then go, child of prophecy. Let's see if your light can truly outshine the darkness." Naruto didn't look back. The wind carried his reply, quiet, resolute, and burning with purpose. "Believe it." And thus began a new era, where the will of fire and the power of shadow would walk the same path. Thank you.